All right, folks, so we're going to begin our exercise at the datacatalog.worldbank.org/home so that we can get on into the World Development Indicators. So once I've gotten to the data catalog, I'm going to come on over here to the World Development Indicators. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. This is some meta information about the indicators themselves. If I wanted to know which each of that contains, I could come in here. I could search by topic, or I could click on topic. If I said, clicked on education, it would show me a different range than if I clicked on climate change. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the data bank, and it's going to bring me into this tool. So you'll see here that I've already got my World Development Indicators database selected. At the country level, you'll see that everything is selected. I could clear this if I wanted to and only select individual countries. For this particular assignment, the assignment is to select all countries. So you'll make sure that you've either checked this if it's not checked, or just left it checked if it is. Okay, you'll click apply those changes. And then you'll come down into the series. Now the series are those indicators. So I'm specifically interested in forest land. For mine, I want to know the percent of forest area as a percent of overall land for every country. Go ahead and select that. And then I'm going to click the last 10 years just to make sure I have at least 5 full years of data, because I may not have any data for 2023 or 2022 available. So once I've selected all this, I should have 10 years of forest cover data for all the different countries in my data set, or my, my aggregate, what have you. Okay. So I'm going to come on over here to the CSV file, and I'm going to download that. It's going to download it as a package zip. So I'm going to navigate to the folder that it downloaded to. I'm going to right click on it, then click extract all. I'm going to tell it where to navigate to put this file, which is my existing data folder for this class. I'll select that folder and click extract. It'll go ahead and do the hard work for me. You'll see that I have a data file and a metadata file that just popped in there. So in order to examine them, I'm going to use the Power Query function in Excel really quickly. Something we've learned about this week. I'm going to click on Data as my tab, and I'm going to come on over here into the Get and Transform Data tool. I'm going to be transforming from a CSV file. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I could have selected the shortcut button right there too. I'm then going to navigate myself where I want to be. Go ahead and make sure that I'm selecting the data, not the metadata file. Again, the metadata is just information about my data, whereas the data is the row level information itself. All right. So it's imported this information for me. It's made some assumptions based on the first 200 rows. I could tell it to do the entire data set. There's only 250 some odd countries, so we're going to assume this is pretty reliable. Okay, it did identify that the comma is the delimiter. And instead of loading, I'm going to transform this data real quick, because I can see that it looks like it didn't pick up my headers as a header row. Okay, so one of the great things about the Power Query Editor tool is that with a click of a button, I can just do that. So I've told it to do that. As you'll see, the applied steps here just promoted the headers, and then it says it changed some data types. So I'm not sure which one it changed for me. So I'm going to just leave that alone for the moment. I'm going to examine really quickly my data all the way down to the bottom. It looks like I've got some junk on the bottom too. So I'm going to remove those rows from the bottom. Okay. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like rows from the bottom. So remove bottom rows. I'll select 5, and I should hopefully still see that final row being world when I come back down here and examine it. So there it is. So I've only done 2 edits here. I can change this type. It looks like I've got this ... here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on into the transform, and I'm going to click on replace values. And I'm going to values define as I'm going to find these double dots, and I'm going to replace it with a null so that it doesn't mess with my data. Okay, I'm going to click OK. And then hopefully any instance where there were those doubles, yes. Okay, so now I'm gonna actually apply this to the entire set of potential data where this could happen. And as we see here, we do have quite a few years, like more recent years, where there's no data available. So it's a good thing that we selected the last 10 years so we can address the assignment, which tells us to select at least 5 years of data. All right. So I'm just holding down the control key while clicking these columns. All right, now I'm going to do that replace values again, now that I've selected all the columns where I see that possible. And I'm going to go ahead and do this one more time just to make sure it catches. There we go. All right. So the last step I could take at this stage is I could just quickly come over here to name, and I'm just going to give this a more friendly name for myself for the morning. For the moment, this is forest area percent of total area. All right. And then I'm going to come back over to my home screen and I'm going to say close and load to. I'm going to put this into a table and add it to my data model. All right. I'm going to actually just delete this other one here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this as a CSV as well to that same location. Right, I've navigated where I want it to go. I'm going to enter this file here. This is module 4. This is my demo file. And I want this to be a CSV so that when I put it into Tableau, it's really easy on the uptake. Okay, I've got 266 rows. I've got, roughly 12 columns of data. It's not too heavy of a beast. Okay. And I also have it saved as an Excel file as well. If I want to come back to it, I'm going to select yes. Go through that process, close it out. Okay. So now I've come to the World Development Indicators. Or whatever data set I'm interested in. I've selected my countries of interest that I am going to query from. Told it which specific indicator I want. Again, when working with World Bank data in lots of countries, you want to keep it discrete because otherwise the data sets just get monstrous. And then I've also addressed my time that I am looking for.